Hello from Athens, Greece. Wow, this is quite a place. You know, when you get into places that are rich with history and it just creates questions in your mind. What was it like? What was the weather like? You know, what was the days like? What was the crowds like in town? And we're at the central place of Athens. I'm up on a hill called the Areopagus Hill, or always also known as Mars Hill. And I'm overlooking the city. I'm going to try to show you a little bit of it. I'm overlooking the city of Athens and the Areopagus and the Agora, the marketplace of Athens, where so much was done, so much commerce. And it's weird because it's just been here thousands of years, you know, it's just been part of life here for all that time. But today I want to remember back to when the Apostle Paul was here. You know, he had been kind of going from town to town, and he came to Athens one day, and he just began, as he was, to go into the public spaces and share his convictions, share his heart, share what he had come to experience and what he knows. And so he came here to this place in the marketplace below me here, and he began teaching and preaching his gospel, the gospel that he felt like that had been given to him. And so people listened to him. He was making sense. And the Stoics and the philosophers of that day, they would always come up here to this hill, and they would sit on this hill, and they would talk their philosophies, and they would debate, and they would interact, and they would talk about what was valuable to them or what they thought about. And you know, I can imagine that Socrates sat on this hill. I can imagine that Plato sat on this hill. A lot of people sat on this hill that have significant places in history. But when they asked Paul, they said, "What are you babbling about?" He said, "Well, I'll tell you." And they created this meeting place, meeting time. And he came up here and he said, "I've noticed when I'm going through your city, you've got many temples. As a matter of fact, the Acropolis is right behind me with the Parthenon, and five major temples sit on that hill." And he said, "But I've noticed this one temple, the temple to the unknown God." And he said, "I'm here to tell you about him." And you know, I think that the challenge that we all have today is that we sense, for those of us who have a passion for other people to know, we sense that God is largely unknown. Everybody kind of says, "Oh, yeah, I know there is a God," or "I know that there might be a God," or "maybe the universe is God." But Paul, he knew that the unknown God, his greatest desire was to be known. And that's why he sent Jesus, so that we would know who he was. And as we study and we investigate and we follow the life of Jesus, we find this relationship based invitation to know God. And, you know, I'm giving the rest of my life to traveling the world so that I can help people know God and help people who tell people about God know how to do that better. I'm by no means a professional, but I have got a deep desire for that. And so I want to welcome you into my life, into my time, and I want to invite you to just journey with me wherever I go. And I'll see you wherever I show up again, probably the next place, maybe in Jerusalem. Who knows? God bless you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.